I'm very excited about today's video. Now, I probably say all the shoemakers are my favorite. No exaggeration, this is possibly my favorite shoemaker of all time, and I'll tell you more about it after my theme music. Intro.
You should come rolling my
Yo, what up? My name is Vladimir Riché from ChaseandRider.com, and in today's video, we're gonna unbox a pair of Old English 2 from VASS Budapest. VASS shoes come in a burgundy box, very similar to Carmina. VASS is a relatively new brand when you compare them to shoe brands like Carmina and Loke, for example. They've only been around since 1978, but you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at their shoes. Right here, you have the item number. You have the style of the shoe, which is an Old English 2. Over here, you have the color. So in this case, this is a gold museum calf. Right here, you have my size, which is a 40.5. And then over here, you have the last, which is the F last. Now you're probably asking yourself, why does he keep saying VASS when the box says VASS? Well, that's because VASS is actually pronounced VASS. I know it's hard for me too, being American, seeing ASS and not pronounce it as, you know what I mean? But so every now and then I might slip up. If I do, my apologies, but it's not actually VASS, it's called VASS. Alright, now let's get to the unboxing. VASS shoes come in a white shoe bag with gold lettering. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I prefer flat laces over round laces. Unfortunately, VASS does come with round laces. So the first thing that I did when I received these shoes was switch the round laces to flat laces, but I only did it on one of the shoes. So the left shoe has flat laces, so let's get rid of the right shoe. In my hands, I'm holding possibly my favorite pair of shoes. First thing first, the color is a gold museum calf. What they do is they pre-treat the leather to give it like a modeling effect. It has like a golden color, but it's not just like a straight color. There's some dark parts and there's some light parts to it. This is what I refer to as a medium brown, where it's not too dark and it's definitely not too light. As far as Oxfords, they have the F last, they have the U last, they also have the K last. F-U-K. Anyway, since then they've also introduced the S last. The F last is the round last out of the three last that I mentioned. The U last is what I would call like a soft square last, and the K last is their most chiseled last. What I really adore about the F last is the shape of it. So if you're looking at this from the top down, you can see this is not your typical round toe last. To me, the F last is the best round last in the whole entire shoe industry, especially shoes under $1,000. As you notice, VASS shoes also come with lasted shoe trees, which is a really nice touch. With shipping to the US, VASS shoes retail for about $550. As I was saying before, this particular model is called the Old English 2. It's pretty much a plain cap to Oxford. One thing that sets it apart is the side right here. So as you can see here, it has a deep V, where most plain cap to Oxford, the lines don't usually go down like this. It's one of my favorite shoes. It goes with almost every suit color except for the really dark ones. One very important feature of VASS shoes is they're made out of JR soles. If you're not familiar, JR soles are the best soles in the whole entire shoe industry. Like, these kind of soles usually last about 2 to 3 times as long as regular leather soles. So that means you don't have to worry about getting the soles replaced as often, because JR soles last forever, and that's a feature that all VASS shoes come with. These shoes also come with the metal toe taps. I think I paid an extra $20 for that. So for somebody like me that walks, I guess, leaning forward, the first part of my shoe that usually goes is the tip of the shoe. And with the metal toe taps, all that damage is actually being done to the metal part, not the actual sole of the shoes. So that makes the soles last longer as well. This kind of sole is what's called a double sole into a single sole. So if you look here, you can tell that the soles are thicker, but as you get towards the middle of the shoe, it thins out. So it starts as a double sole and it turns into a single sole. Now, just to give you a quick background on VASS, as recently as a couple years ago, if you lived in the US, you couldn't order directly from VASS unless you already had an account that showed that you bought shoes from them previously. The thing with VASS shoes, they don't hold that many shoes in the inventory. So most of the shoes that you actually buy from them are actually made to order, where you tell them exactly, here's the shoes that you want, here's the leather, here's the style, here's the last that you want, and they make the shoes for you. So that process usually takes about 8 to 12 weeks. They were afraid that being that you were ordering online, that there was a good chance that the shoes were not going to fit. And there's only one retailer back then, actually to this day, there's only one retailer in America that actually carries VASS. It's a store in New York called No Man Walks Alone, but it's more of a web store. I mean, they do have a physical location where you have to make an appointment to go there, but besides that, there's no other store in the US that carries VASS. Also, another negative of not buying directly from VASS is the price is vastly different if you have to go to one of the retailers. So for example, with No Man Walks Alone, they sell their VASS shoes for around $700. Now, I'm not blaming No Man Walks Alone. A, they have to make a profit by selling the shoes, and B, you would deal directly with them, so there was no language barrier. One thing about VASS, something that we call VASS charm, is being that most of their shoes are made to order, there was a lot lost in translation. Like, you would order a shoe from them. So for example, you might say you want the gold museum calf, and the shoes come and they're actually in the walnut museum calf. You know what I mean? So that's something that used to happen a lot back in the days. But if you were dealing with No Man Walks Alone, they already had an inventory in stock. So something like that you wouldn't have to worry about. Also, even if they had to order on your behalf, they would absorb all the responsibility and make sure that the order is correct. You didn't have to worry about certain details getting lost in translation. With that said, it was really a bummer that you couldn't order through VASS directly and you had to pay a large premium just to be able to get their shoes while living in the United States. Well, I'm glad to report that's no longer the case. You can order directly from VASS's website. I'll include the link in the description below. 3 things that I always preach when it comes to quality shoes is the construction, the leather quality, and the aesthetics. I'm glad to report that VASS checked all 3 of those boxes with flying colors. The leather quality is outstanding on VASS shoes. The aesthetics, as you can see, without question, is beautiful. And last but not least, the construction quality is one level above a shoe like Carmina, because this is actually hand welted as opposed to Goodyear welted. So everything is done by hand, but similar to a shoe that's Goodyear welted, it's very easy to have the bottom replaced when that time comes. As I was saying, VASS is one of my favorite shoe brands. Even though No Man Walks Alone was selling their shoes for $700, while VASS was selling their shoes directly for around $500. Make no mistakes about it, VASS shoes are definitely worth that $700. It just sucked that we had to pay that where our brothers in Europe could just order directly from VASS, you know? So that was the unboxing of my VASS pair of Old English 2 in the gold museum calf. Hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe, or everybody gonna think that you're a hater. And I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.